Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 27th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Vicki McClure, she's absent. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
And Alan Milburn.
Present.
Okay, move on to the approval of the minutes. I think we got those kind of late, so we'll approve those in our next meeting. Yep. So move on to department head reports. First up will be Police Department. Deputy Chief Dickerson.
Hello. So during the week of, from the last meeting to this meeting, this July 13th to the 27th, we've responded to 946 calls. A total of 17 people were arrested for the following crimes: 3 for operating while intoxicated, 3 were wanted on a warrant, 1 for battery, 1 driving while suspended, 4 for minor consuming alcohol, 1 for invasion of privacy, 1 for resisting law enforcement with a vehicle, 2 for meth, and 1 for battery on law enforcement. During the same time frame, we had 39 crash reports, and we sent 1 gun permit to the state for final approval. And it was kind of a light week of training that I know of anyway. But on the week of the 13th, Lebanon officers and all Boone County agencies participated in the active shooter training. It was hosted by the Boone County Special Response Team. They had it at the Zionsville High School, and it consisted of realistic scenarios designed to test like teamwork and the response under pressure. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Deputy Chief? For the public? Thank you, sir. Our next will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has responded to 198 emergency calls for service, logged 340 training hours, completed 98 commercial inspections. We participated in 1 TAC meeting and hosted 2 public education events and instructed 1 CPR refresher class. Station 213 updates very similar from 2 weeks ago. They completed the stair tower on July 15th, and they're continuing with the siding. That's the biggest push that they have going on right now. Under operations, we have several promotions to announce. We'll be doing the swearing in at a later date. Lieutenant Chris Perry will be appointed to the Division Chief of Safety and Training. Firefighter Sam Cornix will be promoted to Merit Lieutenant. Sam's joining us this evening. And firefighter Jimmy French will be appointed to engineer. Firefighter Ethan Shepard completed his probationary year on July 14th. For the Fire Academy, on the Northside Fire Academy, today the recruits started the most challenging portion of the academy, and that is RIT week. The recruits will spend the next several weeks learning firefighter survival, self-rescue, and firefighter rescue techniques. Hiring process update. The application process started July 1st. We will close it July 31st. Currently, we have 256 pre-applications turned in. That's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? From the public? Thank you, sir. Next will be Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. We've installed 2 more memorial benches in Memorial Park and spent the last couple of weeks on tree and stump removal. Also spent a lot of time out at Ruth Brookshire in the bike park out at Stone Eater. It really looks good out there. Getting a lot of great feedback. I want to thank the fire department for coming out last week. Gave our staff, our water park staff, a refresher course, CPR. Really appreciate them. They did a great job, Chuck. I'd like to also thank Lynette Clark with Inwell and Pascal Fetting with Mental Health America. They did an outstanding job too, debriefing our staff. So I really appreciate all the fine work they do. Utility work is still going on around the trail, Big Four Trail, around Sam Ralston on both sides, east and west. Daily closures are happening a little bit, kind of a few hours. They'll probably do a lot of work in August through October, and they will be, looks like putting in a new parking lot for us and repaving it, and also all the way up to 65 is what I've been told. So I'll keep you informed on that. Programs and events are July swim lessons canceled tonight due to the weather, but we'll finish up Wednesday on that. On the evening classes, finished up our day swim lessons last week. It's been a good four weeks of lessons. Looking forward to next year. I want to thank the health department too. They gave out quite a few gifts. They had grant money and goggles and some other things, and also took care of all the swim lesson fees this year for both June and July swim lessons. I want to thank them for reaching out to us. We're trying to work closer with some other grants they have. So appreciate the health department. Our July, there again, the Battle of the Barbecue takes place in Memorial Park on Saturday, August 8th. Event runs from 5 to 7. I'm sure the park will be packed and everybody be out there. Nice barbecue, and all that money from Cancer Society stays here in Boone County, which is really cool. On August 1st and 2nd, the Lebanon Leprechauns will be hosting a 3-on-3 basketball event in Memorial Park. First time for that, and I think it's cool to bring back a little 3-on-3. So get out there on August 1st and 2nd, which is this weekend. It'll be pretty cool to see. We will be announcing more information about our Fall Pickleball League and Fall Pickleball Tournament. League will start around the last week of August and will run into the 1st of October. Looking forward for a tournament probably around Labor Day. Our 2026 Daddy-Daughter Dance will take place on Saturday, August 22nd. Cost is $25 per couple, $5 per additional child. The dance will take place at Seashore Water Park deck from 6 to 8. You have dinner, dancing, activities, and all included in your ticket. And hope to see everybody there.
John, any questions for John for the board? No. For the public? Yeah. Thanks, sir. Next up will be Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you very much, and good evening. Project updates around the city, the State Road 39 bridge over 65. That inspection report was filed with our office on the 18th, as well as with NDOT. No major findings, no recommendations of changes in any inspection frequency. So it continues to be in good shape, and but we'll continue to inspect that every 24 months and look for any issues that may come up. Citywide lighting, we're just wrapping up final contracts with the legal department, but we are planning to get started on that shortly. We will be presenting our energy savings report at the next meeting on August 10th. So that'll be kind of a status update to show you what the findings are, and then looking at lighting installation later this fall. Grant Street, Phase 2. Work continues there. Primarily this week is focused on water relocation from South Street up to Washington Street. Storm sewer work has had to take a little bit of a hold for a couple of days as there was an undiscovered conflict with the sanitary sewer lateral. So as soon as we get final direction from the engineering team, we'll be back on storm sewer work. Really looking at the 2 to 3 week look ahead. We'll be wrapping up water relocation, water services, hopefully finalizing storm or close to storm as we continue down the road towards completion of the project in November. Elm Swamp Road from Anderson Lane to 300 North. Thanks to the funding appropriation that happened on the 13th, we are moving that forward through the design phases and are just waiting on a contract from the selected contractor, which is VS Consulting. So as soon as we get that contract in a good spot, we'll be back here for your approval to execute contracts. Fordyce Street, just want to let everyone know that we're getting ready to reseed a lot of areas in September, So starting next week, as we get into the 1st of August, we will be doing some preparation for that, and that's going to mean doing some some vegetation killer spraying on some of the weedy areas so that we can clear off that weedy vegetation and get ready for new grass seed to go down as we get into the cooler months. But that spraying will start in August. The contractor is a local contractor, John George, but the primary contractor is Milestone. Milestone will be going door to door to make sure people understand that we're intentionally going to be killing some grass and weeds here in the next couple of days. On Witt Road, tree clearing continues for overhead utility relocation, and that project again will bid in December for spring construction. Noble Street, this Friday, the 31st, we have our preliminary field check meeting. This is the first sort of official meeting where we invite all the utility providers in the area, and we have a big meeting to talk about the project and start laying out the needs of all the various utility companies and how those correspond with the road construction project so that we can spend the next 12 to 18 months finalizing utility relocation plans in anticipation of that project in 2029. Makeover program, haven't talked about that in a little while, but we when it comes to Colliers, Lido, and Eichmann, as well as Oaks on Main, we have notified the private owners there that all those projects from the private side of things is to be closed out by the end of the year. That is their contractual obligation. So we'll continue to work with them to get those projects closed out. One project that is already closed out is or at least from a construction and municipal and private owner standpoint, is the Cake Company. So we are working with the consultants at HWC to get all that closeout documentation finalized for them. Jumping to park projects, but also staying in that same sort of vein, Stone Eater Bike Park. We have also received documentation or request for documentation from the Ready Committee so that we can close out the grant on that project as well. And in other news there, IDEM required us to install groundwater monitoring wells, 4 wells around the perimeter of the park, looking for any changes in groundwater to see if there was any evidence that the park construction had any way impacted groundwater. Happy to report after a number of quarterly inspections on those groundwater sources, there was no change reported. And in fact, everything looks so well that we asked IDEM to relieve us of those groundwater monitoring activities and remove those groundwater wells, and they have authorized us to go forward with that. So we will no longer have to continue to monitor groundwater surrounding Stone Eater. At the old street garage, still continue to work through the BOT process. Also begin to have conversations around budgets and funding and putting those final strategies together. Also happy to report we reached out to a lot of the local road projects and other local to private development projects to see if anyone might want to give us some boulders. And we had overwhelming support. I'm not sure if I can take all the boulders that have been offered to us, but it will make for a really unique landscape plan as we continue to work on that. And if you work in the landscape business, you know boulders are not cheap. So getting boulders donated might just seem like a rock, but they're expensive rocks. Admiral Longley Park Perimeter Path, Phase 2, nearing the end of that. Really, right now we're focused on storm sewer, progressing around the storage building. And as soon as that work is done, which it should be done in the next day or two, that crew moves over to finalize the stone work for the remainder of the path. And then hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll be paving that asphalt path. And that will also then mark the last bit of work that needs to be done on the storage building in Abner Longley Park. All the architectural improvements to that building are complete. The only thing left to do is really that eastern driveway, which is not in the storage building contract. It is in the path contract. So that will wrap that up. New police headquarters, we're continuing to work through the design process with the Garmong team. Things are going well there. We had the additional appropriation that was approved on the 13th for some of those early due diligence items, and we're continuing that. We have closing scheduled for this week, along with demolition to follow up here shortly. And we'll spend a significant amount of time tomorrow the Garmong Dewberry team will be leading a large working session with the police department as they further finalize the needs assessment study that was previously completed. Chuck really gave a good update. I don't really have anything else on fire department projects as far as 213 is concerned. Curb work around the site is also continuing to move forward. We're in good shape there and ahead of schedule. At Station 212, we're just waiting on final legal approval so we can execute that contract and move forward with the renovations. A couple of DPW project updates, regional conveyance. Later in the evening, we'll be asking for a bid authorization to publish those bidding documents, but we do now have all approvals from CSX, from NDOT, and our city-county MOU related to that legal drain reconstruction is complete. And so we will tentatively be looking at opening bids in this meeting on August 24th, so about a month from now. LEAP District updates. Village Center, just to give everyone a quick update, the IEDC has issued their RFP for potential developers to partner with them on the development of the Village Center, the mixed-use Village Center. The Training and Learning Center, we're continuing to look at potential operators and looking at tentatively an RFPQ issued towards the end of the summer. Quick update on the US 5265 new interchange. The portion of 52 north of 300 did close last week on the 20th. That will remain closed till the end of October when this is sort of the final push when that project will open and the new interchange will be fully operational at that time. County Road 300 North. We're also working through final designs with the IEDC. They are looking to bid that project sometime in August. And then last but certainly not least is the construction of 200 West from 32 to 52. Work continues there, at least where they're able to. There are several wetland and floodplain issues that are still have pending permit issues, but the earthwork is significantly underway, basically north of the Big Four Trail up to US 52. That's all I have.
That's it.
That's
it. Any questions for Kevin from the board? From the public? Okay. Kevin, I did see something. 32 closures are coming up soon as well.
Somebody asked me about that today. I've not been notified of NDOT of a closure.
Okay.
And we weren't expecting a closure, at least other than some small intermittent closures. So I'm looking into that. I've got a question out to them to get an update from the E&B NDOT team on that, because I wasn't aware of this closure until I heard a rumor today.
Yeah, I saw it on social media and I hadn't heard that either. And usually I hear from you first before I see it on social media, and I saw it on social media first. So.
And so I don't know if that's just a social media. We'll deal with real schedules and real facts and kind of try to sort through the social media facts when they come in. But I've not been made aware of a closure and wasn't anticipating another closure.
Thanks, Kevin. Any other questions for Kevin? All right, thanks, sir. All right, next up, be Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Evening, board members. Since the last Board of Works meeting, the Planning Department did complete 98 building inspections and issued 58 building permits. Of those, there were 10 new single-family homes that were part of that permit issuance. Starting to see Liberty Village on the north side get permits, and so we'll definitely see that to be a pretty regular occurrence that they're issuing permits or requesting permits in Liberty Village up on the northeast side of the community. So a lot of good, strong residential activity there. Commercial side, again, is still very strong. Three additional improvement location permits, foundation permits, and interior fit outs. So still seeing very strong activity there on the permitting side, and do expect quite a bit of activity coming up later this year and going into the spring as well. On the Planning Commission side, we have a couple administrative reviews that are taking place right now. There is a State Road 32. They're calling it the Leap Convenience Store, even though it's not necessarily in the Leap District. So this is actually just in front of the Shell building there on State Road 32. It's a development plan for a multi-building development, fueling station, convenience store, and B shops. So that is the plans are under review right now. And then on South Indianapolis Road, there's a very small project that's a development plan submittal for a 4,000 square foot building for a small trucking company down there. So those reviews are underway. On the code enforcement side, I did not get updated numbers from them, but I know they continue to remain very busy this summer. We did have a meeting with the health department last week just to shore up our relationship with them and how we deal with unsafe buildings and things like that. Make sure we're all working together, singing the same tune on those, so we know what they can handle and what we can handle, and make sure we're really addressing everything in a proper manner. So continue to see good things there. And again, if there's anybody in the community has a question or concern about something they're seeing, feel free to reach out to our office. The best way is actually the iWork system, where you can actually submit it online. It's very easy to track that way as well. So definitely recommend finding that on the city's website. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben for the board? For the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, next will be Public Works Department, Scott Calvert.
Good evening, board. Since our last report, we did the crack sealing I talked about. We used 5,100 pounds of crack sealing material in the city. We painted stop bars and curbs in Prairie Heights. Unfortunately, we had to remove 10 bags of dumped trash on County Road 250 last week. And then we also used 4 tons of asphalt patching potholes. Stormwater side, they responded to 879 utility locate requests. They replaced a stormwater structure at both Reynolds Drive and another one at the intersection of Noble and East. And our inspection department completed 7 SWIP inspections, 22 right-of-way inspections, and we currently are working on 16 active job sites within the city. And in upcoming, next week is Brush Week, so remind everyone to have their brush out by 7 a.m. on Monday, and we'll get it picked up. That's all I have.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions for Scott from the board?
7 8 on Monday?
Yeah, 7 a.m. on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
And last but not least, Communications and Community Development, Joe LePage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that we continue to update our Leap Lebanon latest site. The latest information that's up there now is a update on the elevated storage tank bowl raising that took place this morning beginning at 8 a.m. along State Road 32, wrapping up right around noon. Went out and took some drone footage. Right now on our YouTube channel, there's a video. We did a 360 fly around of it. Also working with a BFNS on, they set up 2 different time-lapse cameras, and so we'll be getting that footage so you can see that elevated storage tank bowl raising take place pretty quickly. And so we'll be able to add that. Took several pictures as well. Going to be putting those on that site. Again, all the information about the LEAP project is on that location. You can ask your questions as well. That's right on our city's webpage. LEAP Lebanon latest is that page. Also, continuing to go through some edits that we received from city personnel regarding our LPD headquarters page, and past pictures and other information studies have been all added and updated to that page, and we'll continue to do so as we get closer to getting ready for open houses and tours that LPD will be doing and being able to show the public just kind of current conditions, being able to make educated decisions later on in the year. Finally, we are working on renewing our conversations regarding arts and culture additions within our community, kind of phase 2 with our mural project, including some sculptures, some spoken word additions, as well as some of that rainy day concrete as well. Those conversations are going forward. Also, planning already for Summerfest, Boone County Summerfest 2027. It'll be the 10th year for this event, and so we'll be doing it in fine fashion, upgrading some of the things that we do, and maybe even having the event later on in the month, or later on in the summer rather, to kind of combat the rain that we've had the last 4 years. We've lost one day of that event subsequently the last 4 years. So that planning continues. Looking forward to adding some bands that you have heard of and really blowing it out for year number 10. That's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir. That concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. Nothing on my agenda for old business. Anything from the board? Okay, new business then. First up is a street closure rescheduling, I think, actually, from the Heart of Lebanon for the Decades Festival. Missy Krulik.
Hello, Missy Krulik with the Heart of Lebanon. Yes, we do have one reschedule, unfortunately. We had our Decades Music Festival scheduled for July 18th, and unfortunately it was a rainy day, so we had to reschedule it for August 22nd is the new date. The event time is from 6 to 10 p.m. And we want to go with the same street closures that we asked for before with one additional. So Meridian Street from Washington to Main Street. That closure time from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's where our Vintage Village will be, and also our final performance by our headliner, Rockology Chicago. Then 3 parking spaces to the east and the west side of Alley Oop on the north side of the street. That's going to be the location of our 20s, 30s, and 40s band. And I want that closure time from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then lastly, the addition, before we had planned to be in the LPD lot, and we had a request and thought it was a great idea to have the band elevated up at Boone County Cake Company's patio. And so we'd like to have Main Street for the seating for the people in attendance. So that area is shaded as well, so it should be a nice evening there. That closure time is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That closure would be Main Street from East Street to Indianapolis Avenue during that time.
Any questions on that, on the modified street closure request? Entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion, we approve the closure as presented.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's approved. You get another one, Missy?
I had one more.
Yep.
This is an addition. We have our junior market, which is really well attended during our Lebanon City Market. We've hosted several in the past years, but we're hosting one this year. Last year we had 18 junior market vendors. Our space on Meridian Street that we already have blocked off we can get up to 28 vendors on that street. So with our normal 25 plus 18 that we had last year, if you do the math, we can't fit them on Meridian Street. So we're asking for that small segment of Main Street. I'll push that up. Main Street from Meridian Street to the alley next to the Presbyterian Church. Closure time 4:15 to 7:30.
Are you going to have the intersection as well, or just the?
No, we'll cut through the park. We'll utilize the pocket park as well. So we'll just use that sidewalk.
Questions on that from the board? Entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the street request as presented.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, board. Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
All right, next up, alley and parking space closure request for Meridian Street structure demolition. Ben.
Good evening again. Kevin gave some updates during his department head report about the police department headquarters project. And so this is part of that project. We are actually scheduled to close on these 4 homes that you see here on Meridian Street later this week. Environmental testing in preparation for the demo began last week, and actually I believe we may have already submitted permit requests to IDEM. If not, that would go in this week. And then expectation is no later than August 10th that our contractor would start demo out here. And they'd asked about access to the alleys and parking spaces. We do think that there's a chance we might get our IDEM permit approval before August 10th, and the contractor may be able to start sooner than the 10th. So the request here would be closure of the alley and the two alleys that are behind the homes, and then also south of the home, to close those beginning on August 3rd. And then through August 31st. That's very conservative. They told us about 2 weeks for the demo. We wanted to give them a proper window just in case it went a little longer. And it is just the parking spaces on Meridian Street. We don't expect to close the drive lanes or the Big Four Trail during this time. So, and then the only other thing, Derek and I were looking at this, and you've got the angled parking spaces on the apartments there on Lebanon Street that use the alley to get out. So we just work with our contractor. They're expecting to work south and north. So when they start the south end, we'll make sure that the north end is open so they can get out through the CVS parking lot, and then just flip that once they get to the north end so they can get out to the south.
Questions on that from the board? Entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion, we approve as requested.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Dick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Ben. And finally here, bid authorization concerning the Price legal drain reconstruction.
Thank you. I mentioned this in my report. We're finally ready to go out to bid on the reconstruction of the Price legal drain. All permits and approvals, and as well as the MOU between the city and the county, is now in place. So we're just asking for your authorization to issue bidding documents. And we tentatively, assuming you would approve this, we would publish those next, towards the end of the week on the 30th, and then we would open bids on August 24th.
Probably only been like, what, 4 years?
It's 2022 when we approved the funding for the project. Everyone always asks what project's going to cost. I think when 2022 it was 1.25 million. Inflation would say it's about 1.4 now, but we'll see how the bids open up before we move forward.
Questions? Alan, go ahead.
39 and the railroad
Yes.
south.
Yep. Just along.
There's no address or anything in the.
It's about.
It says 39.
It's about 1305 if you want to put an address on it, but there's no home there. If you know where the Kenny Limp's old homestead is, it's just south of there.
That's where essentially all of that, everything from there to Hall Baker essentially drains through that.
Exactly. And if you drive down there and carefully look to the east, once you go past the old Limp homestead there, you can see the drainage that's coming into where we will be replacing the tile that goes underneath 39 and underneath CSX. It's jack and bore underneath CSX. The line has to obviously remain intact in operation. But NDOT has actually requested that we open cut 39. So there will be a closure once we have contracts in place and schedules developed, but we don't know what those will be at this time.
Questions on that from the board?
Make a motion, we approve and authorize the bid for the Price legal drain reconstruction.
Okay. We have motion to authorize bidding for that project. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is authorized. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the board? Nope. Okay. Move on to claims. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. All right, any announcements or discussion? Okay. Our next meeting will be August 10th at 5:30 p.m. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, we adjourn.
Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. City Council will be up next.